Do you use a Windows-based computer? Do you know that Microsoft recently released patches that patch 51 known vulnerabilities? Have you installed these patches? I'm Brian Longworth, host of a Faster PC Live Technical Support, and coming up next, I'll actually discuss some of these vulnerabilities, what they actually do, and how the patches can protect you, how important it is to install these patches, and also we'll go over how you can do it. We'll actually show you how you can install these patches. If you haven't done so yet, please take a moment to click the like button, click subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when we release new videos. This past week, Microsoft did roll out their monthly security updates, and these are huge. They actually, the amount of threats that are out there and the amount of patches are just, it really is so difficult to keep up with. But just to give you an idea of how many threats have been detected even this year. We're not quite halfway through the year, and right now over 30,000 threats have been detected. And we're talking about various different vulnerabilities and issues with hardware and software have been detected and reported, and to the extent that these have been given an official number, over 30,000. Well, Microsoft did release updates, their monthly security updates this past Tuesday, and your computer, you might have seen them on Tuesday, you might have seen them on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, but because sometimes with all the computers in the world, they just don't roll it out to everyone all at once. And by the way, there is a setting in Windows updates. Microsoft is starting to actually roll out updates based on electrical use. And so there's an environmental impact section in the Windows updates, and you can actually turn that off, and you can choose to have updates installed as soon as they are available. And I'll show you how to do that. We'll actually switch over to a full screen, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. And I'll show you also how to search for updates if you haven't installed those updates yet. But I did want to go over what these updates do and what they actually patch. So there was actually 51 flaws in various portions of the operating system that were patched this past Tuesday. Now, here's one thing that you need to realize. Every operating system, whether it's Windows, whether it's Mac, whether it's Linux, they have flaws, and those flaws aren't known until they're discovered. And they're either discovered by the company that designs the software, or by a security firm, or by hackers. When hackers discover the flaws first, they actually start exploiting that flaw, and then what you have, what they actually call that is a 0-day threat. So it's a threat that when it's discovered by the company or by a security firm, it's already the flaw is already being exploited. And by the way, every piece of software out there has security flaws as well. This is one reason why it's vital, it's important to get your Windows updates installed, to update your Windows updates to make sure that you're installing these updates and installing the software. But 51 patches flaws were patched this past Tuesday. One of which actually had a security risk of 8.8, and this is actually a zero-click exploit in Outlook. So if you use Microsoft Outlook, you will want to make sure that you actually install this patch. By the way, if you're using a version of Outlook that is no longer supported by Microsoft, you will not get this patch. So this is something that you definitely want to make sure that you are using a supported version of Microsoft Office. So those include Microsoft Outlook 2016 or Office 2016, Office 2021, Microsoft 365. So these are versions that are supported currently, and you need to make sure that you get these updates. So what this means, this zero click, means that you actually don't have to click on the email. You don't have to click on a link. You don't have to open an attachment. This flaw is so severe that just by receiving an email in your Outlook without this patch, that email could launch a malicious code. And so it is very important that you get this patch, that you install this patch. Some of the other patches deal with Windows. There is there are also other threats that are out there. So there are 17 vulnerabilities that were patched in Microsoft Edge, which, by the way, is based on the same core that Chrome is based on. Last week we talked about a zero-day threat that was affecting Chrome. Well, there were 17 patches and vulnerabilities that were patched this past week in Edge, which again is based on the core that Chrome is based on. It's called Chromium. And so there's also a third-party advisory tracking one of the threats. It's a denial of service issue that impacts various validation that can cause CPU exhaustion. So one of the things you do definitely want to get out there, install the updates, make sure that you are protecting yourself. So I'm going to switch over to a full screen. We're going to show you how to install these updates. So we're going to click on the Start button. Now in Windows 11, that's more toward the center, although you can move it over to the left the way you're used to seeing it in Windows 10. In Windows 10, it's on the left. If you're using an operating system prior to Windows 10, you will not get any of these updates. You're only going to be limited to minimal updates. You want to get your computers updated to Windows 10 at least, and Microsoft is still supporting it, so you can get Windows updates and have these security updates installed. By the way, we can still update Windows 8, Windows 8.1. We can update Windows 7 to Windows 10. So if you're out there running any of those old operating systems that are no longer, you can't get the updates anymore, you're playing with fire there. You want to get these updated so that you can install the security updates. But we're going to click on the Start button here, and we're going to go up to Settings. Now, by default, you're going to see Settings. It's going to be what looks like a cog or a gear. I have actually put mine into a folder called Utilities. That's the way I can get all of the icons that I normally use right up there on this on my main screen. So Settings is loading here, and what we're going to do. By the way, your screen won't see Cliff in the studio. That's just part of Skype. But wave to the audience, Cliff. But in Settings, you click on Windows Updates, a Windows Update, and then you want to. It'll actually should start searching for updates, or you can click Check for Updates. And you also have this setting to get updates as soon as they are available. And that's a good one to turn on, because then the updates, you'll have them, those will be rolled out, and some of those will be non-security related updates and fixes and improvements, but you also will have some other updates that are related to zero-day threats. You want to get these installed as quickly as possible. So we want to encourage you to get out there and install those updates. I'm not going to have any updates available because I installed mine already. Now, our managed services clients also are not going to have these because we actually have scripts that search for updates twice a day and to install Windows updates. So you may want to check that out. I hope you've liked this video, that you've learned something from it, and that you'll implement this so that it'll protect your computer and your network. Please click the like button, click subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when we release new videos. And remember, when you have cybersecurity problems, you need a faster PC.